Hello and welcome to another edition of TSL Talk, and today we're very lucky to be joined by the overseas #1 man, Damien McIver. Damien, thanks very much again for coming in.
No, thanks for having me.
Some pretty crucial games coming up in the TSL this week after some results last weekend, most notably Glenorchy's big win over Lauderdale.
Yeah, it's getting really interesting, isn't it? And Glenorchy, their last month has been really impressive. They can almost lock in 5th spot this weekend against North Hobart, and the way they're travelling at the moment, you'd expect them to win that, and they'll be a team that will be causing a few problems, you'd think, come September. If they can finish 5th, they're probably going to play Lauderdale or Launceston. I don't think either of those teams will take them lightly, because the form they've shown and the good players that they have, that Jaye Bowden is playing some outstanding football, it's a pretty tough brand of football to combat. So yeah, good signs out of KG5.
Yeah, Glenorchy won 4 of the last 5, including wins over Clarence and Lauderdale. It's a pretty impressive form line. And you touched on Jaye Bowden. We're just having a look at his stats. He's 13 games this year. He's been in the best 13 times. He's kicked 29 goals, including a haul of 8 on the weekend. He's kicked 10 more than anyone for the Magpies, and he's 5th over on the TSL. Is there any chance he could get his dream come true and someone might rookie list him in the AFL?
Look, he's a chance because he is a class player, and I guess the question marks surrounding Jaye over his career has been his consistency. Can he do this? And even within a game, he'll show flashes of brilliance, but can he put a full game together? He's kicked 8 goals on the weekend, so he's certainly done that. He's had a great year, as you've mentioned. I noted with interest your article this morning, though, Brett. There's plenty of Jaye Bowdens out there, and a lot of them are already got links to AFL clubs. So I don't think he'd be thinking, "Oh, look, I'm definitely in with a chance." He's certainly a chance, but a lot of things will have to go right for him to get that opportunity. But as we've seen in recent years with the AFL, sometimes even the slightest opportunity can be enough for a player to make a name for himself.
Yeah, I suppose Jeremy Howe's the obvious one. Everyone knew he had talent, but one club took a punt on him and he's paid off. That's probably where we're at a serious disadvantage by not having our own AFL team, isn't it? A local AFL team might take a punt on someone like Jaye and anything could happen.
Could be a good PR move for North Melbourne, perhaps.
Yeah, well, maybe there's some talk about that. I remember discussions before of with maybe Hawthorn being able to take a Tassie rookie, but we haven't seen it yet, unfortunately.
No, well, and that's, yeah, you're right. The clubs, to move a player interstate on a rookie list, there's just a whole extra series of issues when you're doing that, as opposed to a player who's already established in that particular state. Jaye had opportunities to move interstate, play either in the VFL or I think maybe even the SANFL in the past. Maybe that could hurt him in the long term. We don't know. But yeah, Brady Jones, the other one you mentioned, I'm sure there'll be a little bit of interest.
Yeah, I think his is that unique factor of being a professional sportsman and as a cricketer and now doing well at footy. And what did you make of Clarence North Hobart? Sounds like a pretty fiery game last week.
Yeah, well, Jack Gleeson's in for a lengthy spell on the sidelines, and look, I mean, scoreboard-wise, it's a pretty good effort by North Hobart, really. Clarence have been the form team of the competition, and North Hobart have always, I guess, they've teased us this year with their potential, and so regularly have disappointed us with what they've actually delivered. At this stage of the year, they can't afford to be losing too many more games. Crucial matches we mentioned next week for them. Clarence, a little bit wobbly, that sort of result, but they won't be too concerned. Obviously, having players suspended isn't great, but they've got the depth to cover that, so I don't think they'll be too concerned.
Maybe one area of concern, though, would be the loss of Brendan Savage. They don't have a lot of real big men, and we saw the job he did against Jason Laycock against Burnie when Clarence got over the top. So his loss could be crucial to Clarence premiership chances. Absolutely,
he's such a presence on the ground too. I mean, he's not that tall, but he's a big body. He's a leader. He intimidates the opposition, and he's so versatile. I mean, for a guy who you sort of watch him on the field, he's surprisingly athletic in terms of getting around the park, and he's so smart with where he runs. So he can go in the ruck, he can go forward and go back, and he stands up at crucial times. Big loss for them.
The other crucial game is on Sunday down at Lauderdale Oval between Lauderdale and Launceston, and the winner of this game could just about lock in 3rd spot in that crucial double chance.
Yeah, looking at the run home, you're right, that is a really crucial game, and it'll be fascinating to see. Lauderdale, for most of the year, I think have been tracking better than Launceston. Launceston, the story has been that, well, they've had lots of injuries. They're starting to get some players back. They still haven't been all that convincing. They didn't beat Devonport by all that much on the weekend, although they were very inaccurate in front of goal. But this is a huge game. They actually play a similar brand of footy, I reckon. Like, they're both blessed with some tough inside midfielders. I think Launceston have probably got a bit more depth when they're fit, which they haven't been all season. So, and Lauderdale, of course, having lost to Glenorchy, I mean, that's probably their worst performance of the year.
Yeah.
So they'll be really keen to bounce back, and that's the game of the round comfortably for mine.
And Adam Derbyshire getting back amongst the goals. V-Cut's loose, it could be the difference.
That's it, and I mean, we see this a lot, I reckon, in the state league, that dominant big men are few and far between. With Derbyshire's one, Laycock's one. When they have a day out, Savage would be another one you mentioned. There's just very few players that could combat that, or very few teams that can, and so that'll be the big concern, I think, for Lauderdale, is if he starts to fire, how do we combat that? I think obviously winning the midfield's the way to go about it.
Can you tip a winner?
I'm leaning towards the Blues, actually. I just think, mainly because I've been saying it all year, that they're building. They'll be thereabouts in September, and if they don't, then I'll look stupid. So I'm hoping that they can prove me right this weekend.
It's amazing like we said, but they haven't really hit top form. They haven't blasted anyone away like they did last season, but they're still in third spot.
Yeah, it's a bit of a quirk in the roster, isn't it? They've, obviously Burnie, they've been touched up a few times. They haven't had to travel south too often, so we don't really get to see exactly what they're doing. They're winning without doing anything all that impressive, but I still think with the personnel they've got, if they can get them all on the park, they'll be pretty tough to beat.
Well, Damien, thanks very much for your time. And remember, for your TSL stories, pick up your copy of the Mercury or go to the Mercury online.